How do the ultra-wealthy fly on private jets for free? It's not about earning points or finding deals. It's about exploiting multi-million-dollar loopholes that you and I could never even imagine. Let me tell you a story that sounds completely made up, but it reveals the kind of financial jiu-jitsu that happens at the highest levels of business. Imagine a businessman. We'll call him Mr. X. He's a sharp operator, always looking for an edge. He needed to embark on a whirlwind global tour to close a series of massive deals. We're talking 20 countries, multiple continents, all within a single month. Commercial flights, even first class, were too slow, too rigid. He needed the ultimate tool for this mission, a private jet. Not just any jet, but a top-of-the-line, brand-new $10 million bird. But here's the kicker. He only needed it for that one specific month. Buying a $10 million asset for a 30-day project seems insane, right? For most people, yes. But Mr. X didn't plan on keeping it. He wasn't looking at the engine specs or the leather seats first. He went straight to the fine print of the purchase contract. And there, buried in the legalese, he found it. A single sentence that was his golden ticket. The clause stated that the buyer was entitled to a full, no questions asked refund within 30 days of purchase if they were unsatisfied with the cabin pressure comfort. Now, you have to understand why a clause like this even exists. When you're selling a $10 million luxury item, your clientele is particular. They are billionaires, titans of industry, people who are accustomed to getting exactly what they want. This kind of subjective satisfaction clause is a high-end sales tactic. It's a way for the manufacturer to say, "We are so confident in our product as perfection that we'll give you your money back if you have even the slightest, most subjective complaint." They assume that anyone who can afford the jet is buying it for the long haul and woe and abuse this policy. They never anticipated someone like Mr. X. He saw this not as a guarantee of comfort, but as a 30-day, interest-free rental agreement for a $10 million super toy. The plan was audacious. He signed the papers, wired the full $10 million, and took delivery of his gleaming new jet. The moment the wheels were up, the mission began. For the next 29 days, that jet barely had time to cool down. He crisscrossed the globe at a dizzying pace. One day he's signing a deal in Tokyo. The next he's having lunch with investors in Dubai, and then dinner with partners in Geneva. He was living a life that's pure fantasy for most of us. The jet wasn't just transportation. It was a flying office, a negotiation room, a symbol of immense power and success that undoubtedly impressed every single client he met. The deals he closed during that month were worth many, many times the cost of the jet itself. He used the jet exactly as intended, as a tool to make a fortune. On the 30th and final day, just before the refund window closed, he flew the jet one last time. Not to another exotic location, but right back to the factory where he bought it. He landed it perfectly on the tarmac, the engines whining down. The manufacturer's representatives came out to greet him, probably expecting to hear glowing reviews. Mr. X walked down the steps, looking calm and collected. He met the executives, shook their hands, and with a perfectly straight face, delivered the line he had been planning for a month. "Gentlemen," he said, "the jet is magnificent, truly a marvel of engineering. But there's a small issue." The executives leaned in, concerned. "My ears," he continued. "They pop slightly when we land. I just don't like it. The cabin pressure comfort is unsatisfactory. I'd like my refund, please." You can imagine the scene. Utter disbelief. The manufacturer was stunned. They immediately took the jet into their hangar and ran every diagnostic test imaginable. They measured the cabin pressure with atomic-level precision. They brought in their top engineers. The result? The jet was flawless. The cabin pressurization system was operating in the top 1% of performance specifications. It was, by every objective measure, perfect. But that didn't matter. They went back to the contract, the very one Mr. X had studied so carefully. The clause didn't say the jet had to be faulty. It didn't say the cabin pressure had to be outside of engineering tolerances. It said the client had to be satisfied. And satisfaction is entirely subjective. There was no way for them to legally prove that his ears didn't in fact pop slightly, or that he wasn't, in fact, unsatisfied by it. Their lawyers looked at it. Their board looked at it. The conclusion was unavoidable. They were legally bound to honor the contract. They had to wire back the full $10 million. So, after a month of flying around the world like a king, closing millions of dollars in deals, and using a state-of-the-art private jet as his personal taxi, Mr. X got every single penny back. The only cost to him was the jet fuel, a tiny fraction of the jet's value, and a rounding error compared to the profits he had made. He had successfully secured a free month-long rental of one of the most exclusive assets on the planet. This story illustrates a level of financial thinking that operates in a different reality. It's about understanding that, in the world of high-stakes business, the contract is everything, and every word is a potential lever. It's a reminder that sometimes the biggest opportunities aren't in what you're buying, but in the rules of how you can give it back. What do you think? Genius move or unethical loophole? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this look into the world of the super rich, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories they don't want you to know. Thanks for watching.